All right, today's Tuesday tidbit is what is an appraisal? And I'm going to add on a second part of that, which is who does it? Okay, so once you get under contract on a property, you are going to almost immediately schedule your home inspection. Your home inspection concerns themselves with the condition of your property. They are looking for obvious health, safety, and livability concerns. They're also looking at not so obvious health and livability concerns. Is everything to code? They might do moisture tests behind walls, what they call an infrared test, where they actually see if there's moisture behind walls. Sewer scopes, mold tests, meth tests. I mean, you can kind of go crazy with an inspection, but they're entirely concerned about the safety and condition of the property you're buying. People sometimes get that confused with an appraisal. When we do an appraisal, their primary concern is the value of the property, the value of the collateral. Anytime a lender's lending out money on a house, we want to make sure that the property is worth what you're paying for it for two reasons. One, your benefit. You want to know that, hey, I'm getting a fair deal on this, but primarily for the lender's perspective. We want to make sure that we are lending money against an asset that is worth what everybody thinks it's worth. Okay. An appraiser's concern is to find out what that house is worth. Now, I've had some agents tell me before, well, a house is worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. So that means 100% of the time an appraisal should come in at the contract price, if not above. The government would slightly disagree and say that an appraiser's job is to look backwards. What were homes selling for up to the lead up of this inspection? And an appraisal is valid as of the day that the appraiser goes out there. So if they go out there on a Monday and additional properties sell on Wednesday, it's not going to take into consideration those when they do that appraisal report. It's only relevant the day they do the inspection. An appraiser's job is to look backwards, not forwards. They will make a note of how the market is improving, but their primary concern is what are properties selling for and to lead up to that house. I mentioned the inspection because an appraiser occasionally will point out some health, safety, and livability concerns. With a conventional loan, which is the objectively so the best type of loan, it's backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, 30-year fixed mortgages, competitive rates, lowest down payment if you're a first-time home buyer, 3% instead of 3.5% for like FHA. With a conventional loan, they assume that you're an adult and they're going to treat you as such. They primarily care about the value. Their secondary concern to a much lower level is the condition of the house, but they are only looking for any obvious health, safety, livability concerns. Holes in the roof would be an obvious one. Cracks in foundations would be an issue. Settling such that it's a tripping hazard. Exposed wiring, exposed plumbing, has to be pretty obvious. Compare that to FHA or VA, which is like truly government money. They care a lot more about the condition of the property. They still primarily care about value, but their secondary concern, and it's right behind it, is the condition of that property. Exposed window wells could be considered a health concern. I had one scenario where it was a deck that was in the backyard and it was only a foot off the ground, but the posts were too far apart. They wanted them to install additional posts, so this means you couldn't trip and fall through the deck. And I was like, well, it's a foot off the ground. Like conventional would have been like, they're an adult, they'll take care of it. FHA, VA, I'll care a lot more about it. As to who does it, the lender will assign it to a local appraiser based on their panel of approved appraisers. So anybody who's going out to do an appraisal on an elevations mortgage, they've already been pre-vetted by us. So it's not just some random person. Also, your lender can limit how far they can go. Elevations does a really good job of making sure they don't go more than a couple zip codes in nature. We don't want an appraiser coming up from Colorado Springs to appraise a house in Boulder and vice versa. We want to make sure that they are local and that they know the market. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. If you think of any questions, let us know. Thanks. Bye.